Hello, everybody, and welcome back to unMadeGaming. On this fine Saturday, we are here for Game 2, the Vagabonds of Dyfed, for our charity 12-hour stream. We are one quarter of the way through this exciting game, or this exciting stream here. We have a cast of new faces, and the lovely Grant Ellis returning here. So let's go around, introduce our cast and crew, and learn a little bit about what the Vagabonds of Dyfed are. We'll start with our newbies here. So we'll go with in my order. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Oh, I actually don't know who I'm playing yet.
Perfect.
Yeah, I kind of just jumped in. But I'm mostly on Twitter. Um, it's just Sam M Daz. Um, that's pretty much it.
And you're an electrical engineer, correct?
I'm an electrical engineer, and
That's pretty dope.
I'm going back to school actually this in a month for a master's in kinesiology.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. All right, let's jump over to Matthias. Matthias, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hi, I'm Matthias, and you can find me at MTHSBLGR on Twitter. Yeah, I'm playing Bijan, the scout of the group, of the adventurer type. He, him, same me as well, he, him pronouns. And I think I need to pick my technique there still.
Yeah, so we'll do that right after we do intros, and then we started building two of the characters beforehand and realized we could do it on stream, so we'll show you guys a little bit of the character creation stuff like that. But we'll jump over to Capricorn Cross. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hi, first things first, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Capricorn Cross, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at the same name, one word. I basically do a lot of RPG content, and today I'm going to be playing the Sellsword Warrior, a human by the name of Jaden, who has a bit of an addiction, but not the sort you might think when you instantly hear that word, and I shall reveal more when gameplay actually rolls around.
Fantastic. Before we hand things over to Grant to explain and help build characters, I am playing Balgus Stoutbrew. He is the speaker. He is the avowed. He's essentially the cleric or priest of the group. And with that, we'll turn things over to Grant. Grant, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? Where of 90 places can we find you on the internet? And tell us about the Vagabonds of Dyfed.
Hi, everybody. My name's Grant Ellis. I'm an independent creator for tabletop role-playing games. I'm currently developing products for 3 different companies. I can't say who they are right now, but you would recognize their names if you saw them. I'm on Money Cook's streams on Sundays, and I'm all over the internet. I'm here on Tuesday nights, WebDM show Thursday nights, Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays. I'm going to do all the dates out of order. You can see my friend Dinah Kennedy on Scraticus Academy on Mondays, and I always have to plug Dinah because we're like this, possibly the same person. There's rumors, and I'm on the Greyhawk channel on Fridays. The Vagabonds of Dyfed is a recently published, powered by the Apocalypse game, where it was designed to take a narrative-based system and combine it with the old school Renaissance. And for those of you that are not familiar with the old school Renaissance, it is essentially the genesis of role-playing games, back when the game was about pushing lead and killing monsters. And it's mostly known for highlighting lethality. However, a lot of those systems are kludgy and awkward and somewhat complicated. However, one of the benefits of using the Apocalypse engine with the game is you can add some narrative to it, and you can also streamline play, and you can encourage highly innovative play. It was developed by Ben Dutter. We are play testing a supplement he's working on called Dortoka, which is a Dark Sun-ish-esque setting. It's also inspired by several other post-apocalyptic settings where you are essentially exploring a massive ancient metropolis that has fallen for various reasons. I'm going to explain a little bit more about the game beyond just the fact that it's powered by the apocalypse. There are 3 core principles. The first is challenge and impartiality. The world is cruel, and it does not care that the players exist or their characters exist. and the world and its fiction will continue on without the characters or the players. And the dungeon master, or game master in this case, is encouraged to be impartial in all roles and the narrative. In a sense, my job is to allow the players to play to find out what happens. The dice tell the story. However, the balance and counterweight to this is the players and the characters themselves do care about who they are and wish to make an impact on the world. They wish to be known in the history. They wish to be the subject of the songs that are sung by the bards and the stories that are told for generations to come. So they are going to use ingenuity to overcome obstacles, challenges, and to find great treasures and be the subject of the great tales to come. And last but not least, the third principle is it's a game of meaningful choices, meaning players are encouraged to make choices that will cause the world to respond, and in turn, it will inform future actions. The core mechanic, since it's an Apocalypse World game, is you roll 2d6, and you fail on a roll of 6 or less, you have a partial success on a roll to 7 or 9, and on a 10 or higher, you have a complete success with potential for a added and additional benefit. Characters in this game aren't determined by ability scores or numbers. You're determined by descriptive sentences, which are your traits. And traits can impact your roll of 2d6 dice depending on if it's a positive trait or a negative trait. Every character has a gimmick, which is a cool or memorable thing about them. It might be that they wear an eye patch over their third eye, or they have a prosthetic limb, or they have one of their arms is covered in dragon scales. They also have a technique, which is a cool thing that they can do. And they also have a lineage. Are they a dwarf, an elf, a human, a hobbit, etc.? Also, they have a core flaw, which is a lie they believe about the world. It might be that all magic is heresy, or all dwarves are liars. It's simply a lie that they believe about the world that will impact them during play and help inform their decisions. So we've currently made 2 of our vagabonds, our adventurers, and we have 2 more to make. We have Samantha's and Mr. unMadeGaming himself. So let's work on Samantha's character. So let's look at the archetype that you will be playing. So have we selected one? Can someone remind me if it's been selected? Samantha's joined very last minute, so
Yeah, I think it was, but I'm not sure how to get to it. Do I need to get into launch game first, or is that
yeah, go ahead in there, and I'm also going to send you just so we have it quick access, the PDF of the archetypes.
Yeah.
So I put the PDF in Zoom chat, and then you can click on launch game on Roll20, and there will be a couple of windows or a couple of icons in the top right. If you click on journal, there should be a list of characters.
Okay.
And I believe you can rename the soothsayer.
Yeah.
And now,
yeah, I believe so. We have warrior is picked, adventurer is picked, awoken is picked, and then so you can pick the same or anything different that you want.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said warrior, adventure. Okay, I'll just go with the rogue, I guess.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So you'll see on that sheet, it says you are a small folk. This is much like a halfling in Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm going to paste directly into your character sheet some of the benefits of being a small folk. So I'm going to edit the soothsayer. You receive essentially messages from the fates by being the soothsayer. So I'm going to write small folk and bold it in your bio and info. So you'll do extra damage to larger foes that are larger than you. You can always fit into tight spaces. You can always escape bonds. And when you're attempting something selfless or brave, you get an added bonus. There's also one other thing that I didn't finish copying and pasting. Let's edit this. There's also some tasks that will involve navigating, and you are allowed to attempt those. Other people can't. So if something's very difficult to get to, you will be allowed to make an attempt.
Okay.
Beneath your traits on that sheet, there is a list of techniques that are kind of grayed out: assassinate, better safe than sorry, trap, cunning, etc. Which would you like to add to your character? So this is a cool thing that you can do.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna go with assassinate, I think.
This one's hardcore. It's so when you roll to attack on a 10 or higher, you kill the creature as long as your HP is higher than it and it doesn't know you're coming. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's pretty
Nice.
hardcore.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add this to your sheet as well.
Okay.
And fix my formatting. So there, we've added assassinate and your small folk. So yeah, anytime that comes up, you can just do it.
Okay.
And I think that may be the only modifications we need to make to your sheet. And then essentially the way it works from there, just by way of explanation, if we're doing a task and it involves hiding in the shadows and coming in, you would probably get bonuses because you have the gimmick of always slinking in and out, as well as being a cutthroat and a sneak thief. So you have traits to your character that will help you in situations where you're being sneaky and discreet.
Okay.
And patient. And Mike, let's talk about your character, Balgus.
Mine's made, right? I'm the Awoken.
Okay. So do you have your... Okay, yeah, you have magical healing.
Yeah. It's just Matthias or
Matthias needed his. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think for technique, I would like to take Tough Hide.
Okay. So I'm going to paste that in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, I think I've got it already.
You've got it?
Yeah, it's you can ignore the detriments of inclement weather, heat, rain, or snow up to reasonable levels. Magical blizzards and flaming pits of hell still require protection.
You've got it. You're good to go. And do you have your bonuses for being human?
Those are...
It's the same as if you are human. I don't know.
Yes, I'm human. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be the exact same bonuses that I pasted in the Zoom chat for Mike.
Oh, yeah.
You can see them on Bulgus's sheet, where you get bonuses for doing innovative things. You also get experience in more situations than most other players. So with that, I think we have all of our players' characters created. Is that correct?
Sounds that way.
All right. So this is a one-shot, and it's a one-shot for charity. So I appreciate all of you coming out. And I like to send players primers when we're going to do a one-shot to kind of describe, a strong verb that will motivate the adventure forward, as well as give a bit of flavor for the game. So for you and the audience's benefit, I will go ahead and recite the primer for this week's one-shot. So retrieve the Hellfire Gauntlet from the floating sanctum. Restore the Ikaitsa to glory. After 1,000,000 years of usurpation, corruption, and malevolent sorcery, the land was ravaged and barren. The fabled empires of old, ruled by dragons and demons and sorcerer kings, collapsed and imploded as nature corrupted around them. All that's left is the profane steppe, a flat plain, a sea of glass, so bereft of any shape or texture, so as to shimmer beneath the failing sun. All that's left, that is, except for Dortoka. Dortoka, a crusty scab of a city, a stronghold against the onslaught of corruption and hellish storms. A lone turtle forever tucked in its protective shell, far larger and more impressive than its inhabitants, a final vestige of the glittering era long past. You are vagabonds, sellswords hired by the Ikaitsa bloodline. You are to infiltrate the palatial floating sanctum and retrieve an artifact of great power. Your reward is an alliance between your company, the Grey Cloaks, and the Ikaitsa nobility. So we established by that each member of the party is going to be a member of the Grey Cloaks company. And when we're playing Vagabonds, I did list a couple of helps to remind kind of the philosophy when you're playing a Vagabond in this game. First, you want to inhabit the mind of your character. Second, you're an adventurer, act like it. Approach every challenge with creativity. You trust your comrades with your life, meaning Vagabonds don't backstab each other. The party will help the party. The world is cruel and demands respect. When in doubt, run, evade, or hide. And also keep your footprint small. Leave no trace. So those are some principles guiding the game. So let's sort of establish a little bit of flavor and fiction to the world. Who was the party member that had a connection with the Ikaitsa nobility that would lead to your group of vagabonds being commissioned with this charge? There's no right or wrong. It's just any member of the party.
Yep, I'm muted. I would say me. My backstory is that my background is that I'm a bloodthirsty sellsword. So I feel like if I would likely have had with these other.
Your reputation
sellswordy
preceded
types.
you, and they knew they needed someone cutthroat, bloodthirsty, and savage to gain access to the floating sanctum and survive the mean streets of Dortoka.
Yeah.
All right. And who in the party had you served with before?
The other sellsword.
Who is?
Yeah, Capricorn.
Yes. What would you like to know, Grant?
Okay, so he had known you and served you before, served with you before. Out of the two remaining party members, who did you pick as a guide to discern the location of the floating sanctum?
I would think I would go for. Was one of them the soothsayer? Is one player a soothsayer?
Yes, there's a soothsayer.
I would definitely say Sam's character, the soothsayer.
What
That
is
would
Sam's
perhaps-
character's name? Let's Kidney
Oh,
Spears.
Kidney Spheres.
I love it.
Sweet.
Great.
I'm literally typing names in a Zoom chat right now, and I clicked over to see that, and I immediately smiled.
Yeah. Sam needs to play with us more often, dagnabbit.
So she is our scout, or our guide, rather.
Soothsayer.
Yes, and you went to the soothsayer to discern the location, and you knew that you would need someone knew the way through the city of Dortoka to get you there. Someone was familiar with the access point, which would be Matthias' character, who is Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan.
Bijan. So Bijan was the object that or the individual that you discern who'd be able to navigate through the city. Now, I'm going to need one player to roll 2d6. There are no modifiers to this roll. This is your planning and preparation roll. The result of this roll will determine potential benefits or hindrances to the overall adventure today. This is how well the party prepared. So who would like to make the roll? And if we have a speaker, I'd like the speaker to do it.
I believe I'm the speaker.
Okay.
All right, so 2d6,
Yep. 2d6 straight.
7, or a 5 and a 2.
All right, you got a 7. So let's see what you get. Let me skip this. So a result of 7 gives the group the following. So each PC will be able to roll with advantage, which means you roll 3d6 and take the 2 highest at one time during during the quest at a time of your choosing, as long as your plan is relevant. So essentially, as long as it deals with finding and locating the Hellfire Gauntlet inside the floating sanctum, at one point during the adventure, you can choose to make a roll with advantage. That is based on your planning and your preparation. Now, go ahead and roll a second time. This is going to deal with your equipment and your supplies, etc. So this is a prepare. Oh, okay, a 6. The supplies you thought you'd bring are ruined, damaged, or lost in some way. I can select one thing from each PC that isn't key to your abilities the moment they attempt to use it. So that means there may be different points during the adventure where your equipment is not in good enough condition. So it might be we attempt to use our adventuring kit, which is, anytime you need, a grappling hook or rope or a torch, it's part of your adventuring kit. And at one point, I might determine that it does not work when you need it to, so long as it's not key to your innate abilities. With that, let's set the framework. So we know that each of you can roll with advantage at one time, and also when you're attempting to use equipment. Now, to sort of describe Dortoka and the flavor of this, megatropolis that has collapsed from forgotten ages, there's salvagers and scavengers all around, but there is no dominant society. This is a city that once was and is being explored by small groups of people. There might be fossilized bones of titanic monsters. It's an endless sea of melted prismatic glass. You can smell burning air and rusted steel all around. There are hues and shades of blown glass and hot iron. There are eroded and defaced runes all over. I want you to imagine that in a shadow, you might see the glint of a knife and bloodthirsty eyes. There's millions of abandoned and empty apartments. There's also glittering cathedrals and floating temples throughout this megatropolis. And every now and then, you will run into hungry, desperate, and cruel salvagers. This is where the adventure begins. So you are passing through the sacred halls of a monastery that has been overgrown and choked by desiccated roots and is covered in psionic runes. You hear faint gurgling noises coming beneath the stones beneath your feet. There's the smell of burning ozone in the air. There's rusted metal that has pure white paint flaking off of it. The paintings on the wall are very soft and comforting frescoes depicting very peaceful scenes, almost as if this was a house of healing in ages past. However, the floors and the lower portions of the walls are covered in disgusting filth from who knows where. There's kind of a murky, overwhelming heat in the air. There's a mysterious shadow that passes over the party. What do you do? You're passing through here on your way to find access to the floating sanctum.
So before we do anything crazy, big shout out to Miss Ginger Ninja and Jacobuddy for those donations. And because no one loves to hate me more than my own community, Grant, $100 was donated for crits for the GM. So essentially, you have Numenera or Cyber System style crits you can drop whenever the hell you feel like it on us, Grant.
Oh, and I will.
Yeah, no, I know. And with $100, they're essentially unlimited for this game. So go nuts.
And I may owe my frenemy Capricorn Cross a crit or two, but I'd prefer to do it straight up with a battle of wits than cheating. No, we'll work those crits in when the time comes.
So explain to me, Grant. This is Dortoka, right? This is where this is.
Yes, you are in this city, and you're passing through it as a small group of vagabonds, essentially,
right.
that have been sent by a group of nobles.
Now, the city is where the floating citadel is, or are we going to that place?
know there's a floating. You know that there is a floating sanctum within the city.
Okay.
Bijan knows where one of the access portals are to get up into it. And he has led you to essentially what would be considered a ward. So there's an area of the city where this access point would be. I want you to think of it, if you've ever been to a very large city like New York or Sao Paulo, Brazil, or Tokyo, Japan, you have city blocks. So there's like a cluster of city blocks which make up a ward. And you are currently in a slumish area. However, there is high above these slums a floating sanctum. Somewhere in this ward within one of the city blocks is the portal to get up there.
Okay. Yeah, so I think Balgus kind of turns to the group, especially to Kidney. And Balgus is like a, what you'd expect of a dwarf. He has 2 battle axes. He's got his armor ready. He's got this illustrious beard. And he turns to Kidney and says, "Well, this is your opportunity. You are the guide, yes? Take us through."
Yeah, so I think as you're saying that, I've already gone and kind of checked out the shadows and looking for anything that could be around and kind of just seeing like what's around us.
Okay. You see a pack of individuals. You have strange helmets that look like angels are carved on one side and fallen warriors on the other. They carry long, crude spears, and they are following tracks either left by Jaden or Balgus. And they're kind of following essentially the path that the party took. They seem very curious. And you can see them probably 60 feet off. There's at least 7 that you can see. There may be more in the immediate area given the sounds coming around.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the party or back to them to say, "Hey guys, we need to cover our tracks a little bit more. There's a group of people following us. What do you guys think we should do about this?"
How many of them?
7 as
Just
far
tell
as
me.
I can see, but
Only 7. Only 7.
there may
Only
be more.
7. More. Yes. More.
I like that look in your eye. I say we should kill them. That is my plan. Take their things, kill them, use their things to get better into the city.
I don't know.
Maybe we head straight after the next block and then double back and let us see what we're up against first.
Yeah, I don't know if fighting straight off is wise.
What if we take the coward's way, we hide inside of a building, drop wall on top of them?
That sounds good to me.
That was sarcasm, I guess, but we'll try that too, whatever works.
So you're going to attempt to hide behind one of the monastery walls and knock it over?
Sure, that sounds like something I would do, Grant.
Yeah. We're already doing your Raijin voice.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not Raijin.
That's Fujin's voice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his brother.
It was requested in chat for the my awful Russian accent.
It threw me off. Yeah. Now, the individual, you do have a strong individual who might be able to push the wall over, but it will take some waiting. So, and someone could assist them as well. So, is that the plan essentially? Now, there's no roll to get around to the other side of the wall. But assuming, I need confirmation from the player who would be doing this. Are you in agreement with the plan that you should push a wall onto the 7 approaching spear carrier?
Well, if it's only 7, then yeah, because it's not really going to be much of a challenge for me. I crave the challenge. Yeah, if it's only 7, yeah, well, fine. I've dealt with 7 before. That was easy. So yeah, just 7. Yeah, I'll wall them. I'll brick them in real good and proper.
Bijan,
Brick them in.
you notice that there are 12 more coming from the west. They don't appear to be following any trail. They just appear to be patrolling. So you have 7 coming from the east, 12 coming from the west.
Oh, okay. You set on this plan. There's more incoming. I'll distract them, and I slink off into an alleyway towards them, to kind of pass them off so that they wouldn't, before they would basically head in our direction.
Okay. You're going to try to get them to divert the other way?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I want you to roll 2d6, and then let's look at some of the positive aspects of your character that may help you on this roll. So Bijan is...
So, yeah, my approach is run today, fight another day, and I just got myself out of having to participate in a fight.
Yes, I would count that. And I'm also going to count as a positive that you're highly risky. I think this high risk maneuver stands a good chance of working. Now, it might put you in a spot.
Yeah, being severely outnumbered if I run into a dead end or something.
I'm going to give you a +3 because I also think you're being relentlessly overeager in this situation. Because you're just like, all right, here we go. I'll run them off. So go ahead and roll 2d6 +3.
All right. Well, that's 11.
So they're definitely going to follow you. So this group of 12, they kind of see this blur go past and they're confused what it was. They kind of stop in their tracks, and 4 of them break off from the 12 to go follow you. And the remaining 8 kind of back up in the hallway while those 4 go searching. Now, the rest of you have positioned yourself behind a wall, and you hear calling, and it's sort of this archaic tongue that you are less than familiar with. You know, they're kind of like this deep, throaty, and you kind of hear bickering going across the hall, most likely from the 2 doorways to enter the monastery courtyard you were in. There seems to be a conversation of some sort, but it's not in any language you speak.
This is from further within the courtyard, like we're hiding behind one of the walls, and
you're behind one of the walls because you're going to push it over on the guys when they got there, and they've essentially stopped, and it almost sounds like they're communicating with each other. It's not a language you're familiar with.
Okay.
Unless you have to be familiar with it.
Is there somewhere that I could hide?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can hide in any of the shadows. You can hide close up to any of the walls. There's also a few columns and pillars you can hide behind. You're also small and not very noticeable.
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to slink into one of the shadows, and like if there's a shadow up against if a wall's casting a shadow, kind of go into that up against the wall.
Okay, roll 2d6 +2. So one of the ways you can do that in Roll20 is type /R, then add a space.
R.
Then 2d6 +2. 10. So you succeed. Yeah, you are perfectly hidden in the shadows, out of sight, and none of the spear carriers on either side with their helmets seem to take any notice of you.
Okay. And am I a little bit away from the other 2 people?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
You're at least 20, 30 feet away. They don't recognize where you are at. So go ahead and narrate to me how you'd like to do this as a party. So the conversation is continuing. Bijan, these individuals aren't really catching up with you. You're moving a little quicker, and you kind of have confused them. And you can kind of see they come to the end of the courtyard. They kind of follow down the hallway you went on, but then they seem confused, almost as if you disappeared.
Yeah, I think I have. Like I've climbed up onto one of the roofs of the building nearby, and kind of watching them and surveying the scene, trying to get a better understanding of what situation we're in.
Yeah, you see 2 and 2 from each of the groups come out, and they seem to be having a conversation in the middle of the courtyard. Right
And
now,
there were-
it seems amiable at this point.
Yeah, they were speaking some strange language, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to double back to be sure to be able to meet up with the others again.
Are you going to try to be unseen while you do that, or?
Yeah, I'm going via the roofs, and they're obviously not looking up on us while they're searching.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Now, the reason you must roll is not necessarily to be seen; it's to not be heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had someone walk on a roof above you, and these roofs are like mosaic glass. They're sturdy enough that they can support your weight, but it may make some noise, as well as you may have a shadow that gets cast by the failing sun. With that said, there's a lot going on down there, and there's plenty of shadows that could be causing obstructed or anomalies in their view. So go ahead and roll 2d6. And do you have anything that could help you sneak around? I think let's go ahead and add 2.
Okay. Yeah, I've definitely grew up in a ship's galley, so I do have some. Yeah, that's an 8.
8. So you succeed with a consequence. So you make it over there, and they don't see you, but they hear you. So they didn't see you make it across, but they kind of heard you, and it kind of echoed. So now these two groups seem to be extra cautious now and on alert, and they're starting to form up. It looks like there's about 20 of them in total. It's hard to tell, and you have this information because Kidney Spears definitely sees all of them, but they do not see your halfling companion. Their spears are kind of drawn, and they're kind of searching around. They actually seem very nervous by the sound that they heard. What do you do? And this is open to the party.
Grant, where are they in relation to the topple wall, the wall we're trying to knock over? Are they slowly moving towards that, or are they nowhere near it?
There are 4 of them moving towards it, then 2 moving to come around the north side or the west side, and 2 coming around to the east side. Now, on your side of the wall, there are hallways you can go down that there are no spear carriers in, or you could push the wall down onto them, or you could attempt to hide behind pillars. Yeah, there's a lot of options, but they're kind of approaching the wall. 4 are approaching to examine the wall, and 2 of them are moving up the far side, and 2 of them are moving down the back side. So there's a total of 8 that are interacting with the wall.
Okay, and they're interacting with the wall that we can knock over.
Yes, or attempt to knock over.
Right. Yeah, I think Balgus kind of looks over to Jaden and kind of nods, like a sinister kind of nod.
What does Jaden do?
So, how many before the wall?
There's 4.
Right, gotcha. So Jaden will just turn and look at Balgus, and he'll just say, 4 is not a challenge worthy of the thrill I seek, but it can make enough noise to distract them and bring them all over. Ooh. And when they're in position, I want to just basically, with Balgus's help or whatever, I just want to ball this wall on top of them.
All right, so let's see what you have going for you. So, which archetype are you? If you're an archetype, a warrior?
I am a warrior, yes.
So, and you chose your strong, right?
Yes.
So go ahead and do this. You're going to, this is a roll not to push the wall over. You'll do that, no problem. It's to see what sort of damage occurs when you do that. So go ahead and roll 2d6 and we can talk about what might help you in this situation. So go ahead and make an argument. You clearly have multiple things here that can assist you.
Sure. Basically, my foreground is I am seeking a greater conflict for Jaden's addiction, which is not killing, but battle. So he wants all of them. He wants his hit. He wants the thrill, and he wants to use the wall to crush these four to bring everyone over so he can play with them.
Okay. So the approach to conflict comes in handy. I definitely think winning freedom assists you, as well as perfecting yourself for war. You're also interacting with your core flaw, so that doesn't necessarily help you. It just has other story implications. So go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 3.
Okie dokie. Here we go. Oh, no, not good.
Okay, so it's a failure. So what happens is you go to push the wall, and as you push it, it collapses. Now, Bijan, were you still on the roof, or did you climb down to the other side?
No, I was still on the roof, and now
Okay, so he pushes the wall, which happens to be like load bearing and support. So the ceiling starts collapsing where you're at, and there's all these glass mosaic tiles that are falling. Bijan, you only take, or essentially all of you on that side of the wall take 2 points of damage as it kind of collapses and falls around you guys. Not only that, it's falling around, and it's scared off all these spear carriers. So you each take 2 points of damage. You have 8 hit points to start. Different things happen if you go down to 0. And with that, these spear carriers are shocked out of their minds.
Grant, does armor work like Cypher?
Armor will reduce it.
It
so
negates
if you
it, okay.
have 3 armor, it negates.
Okay, I have 2 armor, so that would be take
You would
1
negate
damage.
it.
Okay.
Complete
Gotcha.
negation.
Yeah, essentially your damage is the higher of the 2 dice that he rolled. So it would have just been 2 damage, but no damage at all was
Gotcha.
taken if you had armor.
And would I be on that side of the wall, or was I on the other
You were
side?
out of range because you're hiding.
Okay. And did anybody happen to pass me while that was going on?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can interact with them if you'd like to.
Yeah, I would. How many? Is it a group of 2?
There's
or
2. Yeah.
Okay. Can I attempt to throw my dagger at one of them?
Are you attempting to assassinate them?
I am.
All right. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 2 for sure. And for the audience watching, I have their sheets open, and there's certain things that will help them. So you got a 9, so you succeeded. So it's not a 10 up.
Right.
But you essentially hit for 4 points of damage. That's enough to kill the one. He only had 4 hits. So your dagger hits him in the back of the throat. And before he can even clutch it with his hand, he turns and falls over. And the spear carrier next to him turns and looks. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 2 to see if he spots you or not.
Oh no.
He definitely sees you, and he draws a spear, and he shouts and he points, and the other spear carriers in the courtyard have their attention diverted over to you as the wall begins to fall down, and now they're very confused. So now we're going to essentially freeform this. Bijan, if you're started at 10 HP, then you have 10 HP. It's probably something innate to your character. You get extra hit points. Might be you're a human, I don't know. Might be something else. So we're just going to go around in order. Bulgus, what do you do? The walls collapse. If you need to get your water,
No, you're fine.
just pop
You're
over.
fine. Yeah, so the wall collapses on us. One of the guys gets killed. A few of the spirit carriers are running away. Who's in our immediate vicinity as far as enemies go?
Oh, there's clearly 4 right near you. They're all
Okay.
nearby.
Cool. So yeah,
And
I
John
have.
also went falling down near you. He's
That's
behind
true.
you guys, though.
He looks like he's got it. I think. Yeah. So I have look at my equipment real quick. Cool. I'm gonna say that instead of a mace, I have an axe because that sounds way more dwarfy than a mace. Yeah. So he takes his axe and he like drags it across exposed skin, and then like puts the his own blood like on his face, and he whispers a quick prayer to Ogun, the god of battle, and he adjusts his armor, hoists up that axe, and he charges. He bull rushes in right towards the closest guy, axe kind of gleaming, and he's going to slash away at whatever this guy is.
All right. What modifiers do you think you have? And you can roll 2d6.
So my traits are Bloodthirsty Sellsword and Pray before and after battle. So I think that would be +2.
Yep.
Also, I guess a Devout Templar of Ogun might be one.
I'm not going to count that for... Well, I think I will count it, just because. However, I'm going to have you at a -1 because you got to run through all the rubble.
That makes sense. So a +2 ultimately?
So +2.
All
yeah.
right. 7, so success.
All right, so you succeeded. So essentially, the damage you deal is the 2. So that one of them is bloodied. You've essentially hacked into the spear carrier. You cut right through his cloth-torn tunic and meet his side, and he begins bleeding profusely and calls out in pain. And with that, it is Bijan's turn. You're not prone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scrambling up to my feet, looking around, and I think I stay at a distance and pull out my short bow and notch an arrow. But I expect Jaden is also rushing into battle, so I'm more like, okay, well, I got you covered, guys. I got you covered. If you're getting flanked, but not rushing in myself.
Here's a question. Balgus, you've described that you're running in.
Yeah.
Like, would you describe this as throwing your whole self into the attack? Doing a more like strategic, Lennox Lewis jab, circle around boxing match, or just straight up fighting?
No, the way I'm picking up dwarfs in this setting is they're completely straightforward. So he's not dancing around this guy. He's trying to hack him down like a tree.
Mike Tyson knockout punches.
Yeah, he's trying to hack him down like he's a tree.
You killed the guy. So for the purpose of this battle, while you're fighting, you add an additional 2 to damage, but you'll also take an additional 2 to damage. Now you're armored,
Okay.
so that might negate some of it. But just so you know, you are acting out of high risk maneuvers that you cleave the guy down, and so he's out.
Okay, cool.
So that's 2 of the 20 that you're fighting.
Nice.
Jaden, you're on deck.
Did Bijan want to fire with his bow first?
He's got you covered.
Yeah. Okay. So with what I wrote personally for Jaden, combined with the no, I don't want that. Excuse me, sorry. Probably mind. Okay, cool. So combined that vagabonds don't screw each other over and we watch out for one another with my flaws and what I wrote for Jaden personally, I am going to notice my eyes is going to snap on the ones who have noticed kidney. And what I'm going to do is, as it's effective against humanoids, I'm actually going to reach to my back, take out my poleaxe, and basically I am going to be in tunnel vision. I'm going to go over to them and I am going to draw I'm going to draw their attention away from Kidney by taking out the one who spotted her.
All right, make an attack +3.
Okie dokie, here we go. 9.
All right, so you hit him for damage. Is there any extra bonus damage that your polearm does, or anything of that?
Come on. Yep. Hold on. Just bring that up now. It's with
effective.
reach. Yeah. It has reach, so I'm using the reach, and it's affected versus humanoids, which I believe these things are.
All right, they are. So, all right, you bop into the guy, and poleaxe him from a distance, hefty range, and he's bleeding. He's bleeding badly, and you definitely have all of their attention now.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell at them all. Come on, give me a challenge.
They're mad.
I want to yell in the background. We gotta be quick. They've got more incoming.
Oh, and with that, it is Kidney Spear's turn.
Okay, so did he finish the guy off that was near me,
No.
or did he just hurt him?
He hurt him badly.
Okay, I'm gonna try to throw one of my other daggers and at the guy that he hurt.
All right, go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 3 this time, because he's distracted.
Oh no, I forgot the space. Sorry.
It's okay. 9. So you finish him off with the dagger. Ah! And he only had a hit left. So another dagger. And did you want to move anywhere or any incidental actions while that's occurring?
Yeah, I want to move towards the first guy that I killed.
Got it.
Yeah.
You do that, so you kind of slink over to that guy's body. Now, let's go up. Since he hasn't fired yet, is Bijan taking a shot, or is he moving in any direction?
Yeah. What my main concern is that we don't get surrounded. That we have an out if we need to retreat. If I can
have
take
one
a
exit
pop
covered.
Yeah.
And Bogus, you're hacking and slashing a group of.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they get a turn.
Oh no, they shouldn't.
All right, so I need everyone to make a defensive roll. So here's how it works. You're going to roll 2d6, and you are all getting speared at. Now, for sure, you're each only going to get attacked one time in this situation. And Kidney Spears is going to get a +1 because she's little, and Jaden's going to get a +1 because he can keep people away with his polearm, and Bijan gets a +2 because they're throwing spears at him and he has some cover he can get behind. So everyone roll me 2d6, and I handed out some modifiers there.
Oh.
All right. So Sam takes 2 points of damage, so you get speared for 2 points. Now, if you have armor, which we can double check on your sheet, so you are a rogue, you reduce that by 1, so you only take a point of damage.
Okay.
Jaden takes 3 points of damage. You have 3 armor though, right? So
yeah, negated again.
Yep, negated. And Matthias is doing all right. And Unmade Mike, 3 points of damage. Your armor will soak up some of that. And the rest of the spear carriers are moving into range so they can't engage you. So there's at least 17 or so remaining. They're coming in. And with that, Balgus, you're up.
Okay. So there's no one in melee of me, just these several guys throwing spears?
No, they're in melee. They're in melee.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
There's
then
at least 3.
Then I don't have to move anywhere. That makes everything great
5.
for me.
Yeah.
That makes it much easier for me.
Yeah, there's 5 in range.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to and Jaden's nearby, right?
Fairly close, yes.
Okay, cool. So we have fought together. So I kind of close ranks, so I'm closer to his back. So he has the pole arm forward of himself, pushing the guys back, and I'm gonna like draw them in. And as we get closer together, I'm gonna be slashing away with my axe at guys.
So you're swinging your axe while moving backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. This is going to be 2d6 plus 1.
Okay. So.
But you're more defensive. You're going to be harder to hurt this round.
Okay, cool. So let's see what happens here. Wow. 7.
7. So you hit one, and your footing is getting a bit slippery as you're moving back. Basically, the rubble from the rocks are making it difficult. And you connect with a spirit carrier, and take a good chunk out of his arm.
Yep.
He does not look like he wants to engage you anymore. He's looking almost as if he wants to break from the group.
Damn right he does.
Yeah. And let's go ahead with Bijan. There are 2 spear carriers that are close up in range where they could engage you if they wanted to.
Yeah, and there were others throwing spears at me. So I think I pop out behind the cover that I took and take a shot.
All right, go ahead and roll 2d6, and we can talk about what modifiers you might have to add to the roll.
My goal is to plunder, pillage, and profit. Otherwise, I
think
don't
based on
see
your position and the fact that you've been prepared to shoot is going to give you your position is going to give you a +1, and the fact that you've been prepared will give you another +1. I don't know if this is exactly plundering, pillaging, and profiting, but I will give you a third +1 up to your maximum +3 because you have run today, fight another day. You've been in a defensive position this whole time, which will also give you another +1.
Okay.
So 2d6 plus 3.
That's a 12.
That's a full-on success. So you hit them, and yeah, you've shot him clear through the throat. The arrow passes through, and he drops and he's dead before he hits the ground. The other 2 stop, look at him, and look back at you, almost like, to heck with this. With that, let's move to Jaden's turn.
Okay, so they just threw spears at us, right?
They've thrown spears or they've stabbed them at you. Depends.
Right. Okie dokie.
There's 5 that are close to closing in on you.
Okay, so so my foreground is to perfect myself through war. Jaden is addicted to violence and the battle high, but he's still got a job to do. So he's going to quickly look over and mouth to the soothsayer to Kidney, find the portal. We've got this. And then what I want to do is put my poleaxe temporarily into one hand to do a bit more intimidation. I actually want to reach down, grab one of the spears that were just thrown at me and chuck it straight back at these you-know-whats.
Okay. This is going to be a 2d6 plus 2.
Awesome.
Yeah, you've got to pick up a spear and move at an awkward position, but you're also, this is taking you back to being a winner in the gladiatorial pits. You thrive in this sort of battle.
Hey, buddy, I think you dropped this. 9.
Not your buddy. Yeah, so you spear him, and that finishes off another one.
Who else wants some? Come on, boys.
That spear breaks as it hits, and you also feel like old war injury in the shoulder. It's not injured, but it's just kind of like those old nagging pains. It's eating at you. Now it is Kidney Spear's turns.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me well or no?
I can hear you well.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to. I'm right next to the first guy I killed, right?
Mhm.
Can I pick up my dagger and see if he has any? Just do a quick check to see if he has any loot on him.
As you're checking him, you find hardly anything other than scraps of mouse skins and uh, tails of squirrel-like creatures. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 1 though.
Okay. Six.
You don't find anything of real value. It will
So
take you
insane.
more time. If you want to keep searching him, you're pretty sure you'll get to the good stuff, but you won't be able to attack, and you will leave yourself exposed.
Okay, I'm gonna go back into the shadows, and I'm gonna start looking for this portal. So I'm gonna
Okay.
try to get away from the battlefield.
Okay, so your intelligence would tell you that the way to do that is to get out of this courtyard. So, do you want to make for the north exit, the south exit where Bijan is, the east exit, or the west exit? So you can essentially go in any cardinal direction.
Okay.
One of them, Bijan's protecting.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll go through the one that Bijan's protecting.
Got it. All righty. So you do that, and now it is Bulgus's turn. Or it's the bad guy's turn. Yeah, so let's do that. Need everyone to make a defense roll. It's the same modifiers as last time. Everyone has a +1. Even except Bulgus will have a +2 at this point because of his defensive stance. Success. Matthias, Bijan takes 3 points of damage as the spearmen close about him and begin stabbing him. And I think that's good for the party. That's good. And it is now Bulgus's turn.
How visible is Bijan?
He's hard to see. He's close to cover.
Okay.
And
how about this, Grant? Can I see that there are several people stabbing what looks like nothing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're somewhat surrounded yourself.
Okay.
Your assumption is everyone's being stabbed at this point.
Okay. So I have no path to Bijan. Perfect. I will continue my onslaught against these people. It's what I'm good at. I pray to the god of battle, and I will crush my foes.
You can try to get to Bijan, but it's not like D&D where you're looking to move the perfect route without
Right.
provoking.
Yeah.
They'll swing at you, and you can do the thing that you want to do, but only one guy will swing at you.
Okay. No, I think like leaving this position would to go save someone else would just put like Jaden in more danger, despite the fact that he loves that shit. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stay here and cut down another one or two before I go help Bijan. I'm sure he's got it. He looks capable. So what is the modifier for this one?
You're fighting, right?
Yeah, so I think I like plotting and determined and bloodthirsty sellsword are my typical go-tos.
Your max modifier.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hit with extra damage. Should you hit?
That's
a great success.
Hit.
All right, so you cleave straight through two of them. Two heads drop.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so he basically like
that's enough damage.
He swings and like cleaves two guys in half, and then over his shoulder he says, "Are you keeping score? I think I'm winning." To Jaden as he kind of rounds back in and chokes up on his axe again.
All right, it's Matthias's turn. It's Bijan's turn.
I think what they're closing in on me, they're stabbing at me. I think as they're trying to surround me, and the next one goes for another stab.
You have an escape route too.
Yeah. What I want to do is basically grab as he stabs, grab the spear, pull him in against the other one, so he can get away. Like, it's less about doing anyone any harm and more about getting him off his footing and slinking away from them. And,
All right, 2d6 plus 2. As he thrusts his spear at you and attempts to stab you in the liver. You do that. You trap it, spin him around, even take him almost as a hostage for a second, and he sweats and he's off balance. You also have an escape route if you want to take it at any point. So you kind of move down the southern hallway. It's Jaden's turn. He's in the middle of combat. You have at least 4 guys on you now.
Okay, so I'm going to just say to Bulgus, as this is a charity stream, bleep your kill count. Take them out, brag later. And what I'm going to do is, with the kill first, ask questions later, I'm going to basically take the poleaxe again, and with the 4 that's coming towards me, I'm going to try and, using weight and momentum through technique over the years, try to basically do a wide arcing swipe to try and lump as many of them as possibly can, as the weapon has reach.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How many modifiers, Grant? 2?
Do 2d6 plus 2.
Okie dokie. 9 again. Seems to be my
9.
number for tonight.
So it's going to be 2 points of damage. And you can feel that you're effective, but just their numbers are making it hard to get clear shots and clear hits. However, you have, half of them lie dead on the floor, right? You guys have caused mass chaos to them, and there's a good chance they're going to break. Roll 2d6 for me.
Sure. 9 again.
All right. About half of them look like they're going to break off. Now, the camera cuts over to Kidney Spears now. Now, you are in a long hallway. You are currently not engaged with any of the combatants. You can see at the end of the hallway, there is a, through the port on the far side, that there is, it looks to be a courtyard made out of glass and steel, bright, shiny steel reflecting the light of the sun. And there is a large stone fountain in the middle of the courtyard. Do you proceed down the hallway, or do you stay put in an effort to help your friends?
Well, first, can I look back and see if anybody is following me from the battle?
Currently, no. Bijan is following slightly, though.
Oh, right. Yeah, I meant more of enemies.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna proceed.
Okay. So you find yourself in the courtyard, and much to your surprise, there is a group of children in the courtyard. And these children seem to be pestering an old man who is pushing a cart of many trinkets. They're kind of circling about him, and these are little scrappy children that seem to be teasing this old guy. And now we cut back to the enemies. So there's going to be 5 attacks on those that remain in the courtyard. So what I want is Jaden to roll 2d6 plus 1 3 times, and I want Bulgus to roll 2d6 plus 1 3 times.
All right. 8.
Okay.
11.
All right.
9 and 11.
You guys are doing a good job fighting them off. But each of you suffer 1 point of damage, which your armor negates. So that's it from them, and now it is Bulgus's turn. Your allies have left you at this point, and you are caught in combat with a large mass. However, before you declare your action, Balgus, go ahead and roll 2d6.
Sure. 6.
They're breaking. The after they've attacked you, they're attempting to flee. They split off into 2 groups. One's headed east, one's headed west. It's a 5 and 5. So, do you pursue them or do you follow your companions?
No, Balgus is gonna start to follow his companions. He reaches back and like side taps Jaden, and he says, "I believe it is time for us to leave." And he hoists up his weapon. "Stay if you like, but we have a job to do." And he starts to like limp over the bodies.
Cowards not worth it.
So, the bodies. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for me, plus 2.
10.
All right. So you've managed on most of them. They seem to have gems that they've crotched in their undergarments. There's an assortment. There's 3 blue and 3 green and 1 red. Being a dwarf that you know, these are most likely lapis lazuli, emerald, and a ruby, and they are worth a small fortune in many parts of Dortoka.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that'd be the first place I would check, Grant. Right in there.
Well, it wasn't the first place you checked, but that's where you found the guy.
Right in the family jewels. That's where I keep my jewels.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, so like kicking them over
in there with
and
the
moving.
hinges.
Yeah. That's where I go first. Like if I was gonna hide something, so I proceed past these corpses towards the direction where I saw Bijan slip off to. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there is a magnificent courtyard. This courtyard, there's these beautiful, almost like rainbow tiles of stained glass on all the roofs of these structures. There's an enormous stone fountain, must be 50 feet across, in the center of a large courtyard, and there's an old man. He's got ugly nuggety muscles, he's stout bones, and he's trying to shoo off these children that keep teasing him and try to pick things off his cart of wares. What do you do?
Who's over there?
Like 5 children?
No, I'm there. Isn't Kidney there?
It'd be everyone in the party that went down there. Bijan
Okay.
went down there. Kidney Spears went down there.
What is this man doing here? Has
You
anyone?
also notice that there's floating, glowing orbs of light that are illuminating the area.
Hello, elderly man. What are you doing in here? Why are
I'm
these
trying to
children?
keep my wares. Scare these children off for me. Do it, and I'll pay you. And then the children all start chanting, "Bullies, bullies."
I'm not
The old man doesn't like that one bit.
entirely against killing
Long.
children, but
Whoa.
what?
What are we considering, Master Stout Brew?
Well,
There.
I mean, they're strange children. They shouldn't be here anyway. This is not a city for people to live in. Children, get out of here! I don't know. How do you... I don't have kids for a reason.
You get out of here. Old man, old man, old man. They start making fun of you.
I don't
And
like
I
these
think
children at all.
I whistle at them to get their attention.
Yeah, that gets their attention.
And-
The whistle came off to them like magic. They all start swarming towards you.
Yeah. And I want to reach into one of my satchels, and I basically want to use 1 point of adventuring gear for conjuring up some candy.
Okay,
to
yeah,
give
yeah.
out.
You do that, and you reach in, and you find essentially there's enough for all of them, but it's essentially it'd be all the candy you have, and they're like begging for it, and they know no one gets something for nothing, so they want to know what they have to do to earn the candy.
they all get a taste, right? Like one piece of it, and then I'm like, now we need a.
He's the
I'm the
candy
only
dealer of Dortoka.
yeah, I'm the only scout we have, but you all seem very, very good on your feet.
We're great on our feet. We're amazing. We're athletic.
We need some good eyes to watch out for any danger that might head our way.
Oh,
Can you
there's
be
lots
like
of-
the shadows?
There's lots of danger headed your way, and we can be like the shadows. We often are like the shadows.
Mm. And can you whistle like I just did?
They can't, but they can try.
Yes.
We can
Well,
caw like crows. Yeah, like the buzzards. Ah, ah, ah.
perfect. Yes. Stay in the shadows. Stay close. Don't be seen. And call when you see danger approaching. I basically
Okay.
want them to be like a little alarm system, at least for the time being.
Yeah, they'll do
Until
that
they
for
get
you.
bored.
And they're like, so what were you doing in the old church?
Killing
Yes, we-
several people.
Broke down a wall.
Oh man, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, you'll be cursed by the gods. Cursed by the gods. Oh man, you're not gonna get this candy's not cursed, is it? Oh
No,
you didn't.
I wasn't part of that.
We're a mere bystander.
Yeah, and I think I tried to entertain them so Master Stout Brew and the others can talk to this merchant of some kind.
All right. Yes. Yeah. And he has a lot of wares. So he has this odd sort of contraption that he's wheeling through. It's got mismatched wheels on it and all sorts of compartments. And there's food hanging off of it. There's jewelry hanging off of it. There's what looks like exotic weaponry hanging off of it. He kind of looks at you. He's like, huh. Where are you coming from and where are you headed?
I'm sorry, I believe the words you meant to say are, "You're welcome, here is the money I just told you I'd give you."
No. I did not ask you to intervene. I did ask you to intervene.
You literally shouted, "Help me, I'll pay you if you get rid of these children."
All right. Do you accept badger meats as payment? And you start picking off some healthy portions of badger meat.
No. I don't need your badger meat. Wait, who's keeping track of what we have as equipment? What's broken? We need to replace that. So whatever we rolled shitty, or I rolled shitty on our gear, whatever he can replace, that's what.
He will replace the next piece of broken gears.
Sweet.
The next two of them.
Cool. Yeah, so I guess Balgus kind of looks around and says, what are you doing here? Why are you still in this terrible place?
Well, my home's not far from here, and I was going to take these to the Circus of Generosity, and they have an event going on today, and it's good business to sell meats at the circus.
That is a made-up place. That does not exist.
It exists 100%. You can just go to the east and it's there, but you better be careful. They're vile folk, abyssal folk, forgotten folk.
Why are they so generous?
They call it that because they let people live.
Oh. That's fair. That is a good name. That is quite generous. And no, Jaden would not let people live. It's a proven fact.
And also, you go off yonder that way, and he kind of points to the road headed west. Every now and then you can get something out of the bugs.
Literally?
Bugs up there.
Yeah, pull it out of their insides?
Well, you can get good equipment, or sometimes they go way deep into the ruins and they find objects of forgotten ages.
Oh, you're saying the bugs talk to you and you sell them and stuff. Oh, I understand.
Yeah. The bugs.
I thought you meant kill and remove from their body parts.
Roll 2d6 plus 1.
Sure.
Yeah.
Plus 1. 8.
You're pretty sure he's referring to a race of kind of insectoid, humanoid hybrids known as the Hazka, which is a race of insect-like people that live here in Dortoka.
Gotcha.
And there must be some to the west.
Do you know anything about the floating citadel?
That one above us? I do.
Oh.
That belonged to monks of a forgotten age. Thousands of years ago, they lived there.
Great.
Never been up there. However, the Hazga sometimes go there and trade with them.
Oh. You say the monks still live there?
I don't know. I have not been.
Oh. Great. Do you know how to get inside?
Probably through the front door. But there's rumors of a portal. The Hazka say they know where it is, but they're not likely to share that secret.
That makes sense. Well, this was entirely useless. Thank you for these items. Have a good day. Good luck with your children. Anyone else? I think you talk to this creepy man.
Creepy.
Have you seen you? Says the guy covered in blood.
Yeah. Does anyone else
I don't want to talk to him, but I do want to see if I can find the shiniest thing on his cart.
Yeah. Roll 2d6 plus 2.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Especially when he's distracted.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be a great success. So I think I'm going to open a different book for this. I'm going to open a book that was sent to me by my friend Sly Flourish, Mike Shea from slyflourish.com. I'm listed in the special thanks of his new book, Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, coming out. And in this book, he has all sorts of cool generator tables. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to generate a magical item. And so I need to roll on a couple of tables. The first table that we roll on. Shake and shake to catch a bottle, and that'll come in then a lottle. All right, let's check my PDFs and do a couple of rolls. Sorry. All right, so this is going to be, come down to back. It's nothing but maps. All right, so all right, so go ahead and roll for me d20. This will be all right. So 11. So this is going to be runed. It's covered in magical runes. And now go ahead and roll another d20 for me. It's going to be ethereal, so it's kind of from almost like the astral plane, a realm between realms, so a ghostly realm. So there's this ghostly runed object, and now let's decide what type of object it is. Roll 1d3. All right. It's going to be a type of weapon, so now roll another d20. It's a battle axe. So you have this ghostly runed battle axe that will now roll 1d100. 48 can cast fog cloud. So once per day, you can say a keyword while using this ghostly battle axe that's covered in runes, and it will cast a spell like fog cloud from Dungeons and Dragons. So it'll form like this 20-foot radius, massive foggy area that obscures vision, makes you almost indetectable, and people can't see out of it. And you can choose the point where it appears. Anywhere within 100 feet. So you have found this magical weapon on his cart that you have stolen undetected. That is a random magic created.
It's not the small trinket I was expecting to steal.
That's what. Well, I wasn't expecting you to roll a 13.
Yeah.
You could have got badger meat, right?
Yeah.
Shiny badger meat.
Okay. So are we leaving then now?
If you want, and you can choose to go to the west, or you can choose to go to the east. He said there's the Circus of Generosity to the east, and there's the insect people to the west. Or you can go back the way you came and go back to the monastery.
Where do you guys want to go?
Bijan, wasn't this your job? Don't you know where there's the entrance?
You know it's in this ward, and that's the thing.
Use your keen senses of cowardice to find us the greatest way to enter this place.
If you'd like to try to navigate based off of maybe rumors you've heard in the past or stories you've been told, I'll let you roll 3d6 and take the 2 highest to see if you can orienteer.
Yeah. That's 12 then.
All right, so 12. So perfect success, and it would be a critical if we added any of the positive modifiers. So essentially, here's what you know. If you go to the circus, it most likely means certain death. If you go to the Hazka, their death is likely, but they're not going to be the ones that kill you. And they most likely would know how to get you up into the pyramid. However, you're going to need a gift for them, and they want more than candy, most likely.
Yeah. Because they also trade with them, so they would know a way up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this is what I mentioned. And I say, but we got to buy our way in. Anything... Oh, if we're still standing here, and I can tie this into what else just happened, I could say, yes, we need something to buy our way in. And then I look over at the merchant who's like now counting the money he just received, and like eyeing that battle axe that Kidney was also looking at already.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this opportunity. And I mean, it's ethereal and ruined, and it's like that thing that'll buy us entry.
It's your axe, though.
I just want how big is the axe in comparison to me?
I think it's comically roughly your size.
Oh, okay.
But I like the idea
Perfect.
that like a Punch and Judy puppet going around cracking things. Yeah, so that definitely happened. So he feels that you should trek to the west. Is that where the party heads?
Do we have the axe?
Oh, she has it.
Yeah,
She
I
stole
have it. Yeah.
Undetected.
If you think this is best, I'm here to find the item and kill everything in my way, but the getting there is your job.
Well, I guess we could ask we could axe them for a way up.
I
see what you've done
it's
there.
allowed one every game.
I see what you've done there. It was terrible. Never do it again.
Well, game for a second. I was going to go Kidney, give him a sign, axe them baby one more time, but I wasn't going to go that corny.
God damn it.
All right, so assuming the party travels to the west.
We're traveling west.
Yeah.
The road narrows and the ground changes into pure glass itself. It's textured though, almost kind of like a gravel of sorts, and it's safe to walk on, and it doesn't create a lot of noise as you travel over it. And you notice many of the houses in this area are covered in tarps and cloths. There is leather and bone on the roofs. In most of the structures here seem to be made like tents. There is a series of bronze statues that look to be various creatures, like monstrous creatures, Medusas, griffins, cyclops, etc. And there is, kind of the street begins almost like overlapping itself unnaturally as it moves into the tents. And the very walls themselves and a high tower appears to be unstable over this region as a gentle wind is kind of blowing it to and fro. What do? You don't see any insect people walking about the streets, though.
Have you ever spoken to these people before? The insect people?
No. This is all just hearsay and me putting one together. And I crouch down and I start looking for signs that could point me towards where insect people might have ventured, or maybe they leave carvings, or maybe there's
you
small
see
symbols.
tracks of their feet going into some of the tents. And you notice there are markings on each of the tents. However, you do not speak their language innately.
No. Oh. Those tents over there. No, I don't know how to best make a good entrance to these insect folk.
I would assume shouting, "Hey, insect people," is not a great answer.
No.
Well, then I'm out of ideas.
We could just go say hi, and
I guess that could work. I thought you said you didn't know how to do this.
Is there
I
some
don't know.
sort of is there some sort of universal sign that we're here to bargain? You know, sort of like, I don't know, offer wares without, is there some sort of, some universal way of saying we've come to trade, which essentially we have come to do?
yeah, I'd start with like cleaning up the blood off of yourselves. If
That's why I use
I
a
look,
reach
I
weapon.
look
So
the enemy's blood too.
you're essentially going to attempt to make what you would consider like a universal announcement. It's kind of like the universal sign of choking. You put your hands over your neck, things like that. But there's kind of a universal greeting of sorts. Correct?
Yes, wasn't it something like "Ba Weep Gra Weep Nini Bong"?
That's
Something
the
like
universal
that.
name. Growly Bobby Ninny from Transformers the movie.
I believe
That's
that
the
works
second
for.
time this week
this
you and I
week.
have not Transformers the movie.
I believe that works for everyone.
So, who is the speaker of the group? Bulgus? I
Still
believe he's
me.
the one to make the roll.
Sure.
Do you have anything that might help you in this situation? Any positive traits?
I don't think so. Let me double check here. No. None of these make me a nice guy. Yeah, so I think it
That's
just might be
crime.
I think it might be a straight up 2d6 here. I assume they don't follow our gods. Yeah, no. I think it's just a
Now,
straight 2d6.
It could be that as a result of your planning, you get a roll with advantage because you knew you might run into them, and you had your Hazka for Dummies book where you learned the universal trade greetings, and you
Okay.
practice saying it, in the clicking.
Yeah.
It's like talk.
And everyone gets one of those, right?
You release your pheromones.
Yeah. I just flap my arms. I'm sweaty. Everyone gets one of those, right? I'm not using up the whole parties.
No, everyone gets one.
Okay,
At
cool.
least one.
Yeah, I'll do that then. So it's 3d6 and take the two highest.
Yes.
Cool. Bad.
It's not bad. You succeeded at a cost. So you pronounce it. This kind of reminds me of when I lived in Brazil, and every now and then I'd swear at people but not realize I was swearing at them. Yeah, you kind of clear your throat. Go ahead and act this out for me the way Bulgus would. I want you to do your best insect impression.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Great,
As
Grant.
a
Thanks.
dwarf doing an insect. This is a charity stream.
Yeah. So he kind of walks in, and he pulls out his little book, and he looks down. He says, "It is click, clackety, click, 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 click. Hello, my name is Bulgus. I am here to trade with you. Insect. That's not what your name is. Hello."
So
Let me try that again.
You do this?
And he's like making like crab things because that's the only thing he has to click with. And he's like, no wait, try this. And he starts banging in the right pattern on his armor.
A massive creature. There was that tower that was kind of weighing in the wind.
Yeah.
It's crawling around one side. It has like 7 spider-like legs, almost as if one's been broken off, and it has a massive, red, multifaceted eye that kind of almost, rotates around its head unnaturally, and it fixes itself down on you. The tower begins heavily leaning on the one side that it moved to, almost looking as if it's coming on the brink of collapse. What do you do?
Yes,
You don't
hello.
want insect's attention.
Dodge for cover.
Yeah, I nope out of there.
Where are
Go
you
into the
where are you
shadows.
noping to, and where are you dodging to? So there's tents around. There's the way you came. There's moving forward.
Between a couple
The
of
road
tents.
turns off to the north. What's that?
Between a couple of tents, like
Okay.
throwing myself on the ground, fearing that a tower will fall on us right now.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go straight into one of the tents.
Well, that's what it does. I need everyone to dodge for me. So go ahead. Those of you that moved out of the way, you're going to go ahead and have a +1 based off of your preemptive action, and then you may have a couple other traits that help. The rest of you will probably be a straight roll.
Alright.
Well, run today again, right?
Okay, cool. Grant, I'm not running. I'm standing here. Because I think it's leaning in towards me, right? I wish to treat with this person, with this bug
Yeah, but
monstrosity.
are you going to let the tower fall on you, or are you...
I mean, the whole tower is crumbling with this thing on it.
As it came
that what
over,
it's-
the tower's falling down on top of where the party was, and it's going to smash into some of the tents,
Okay,
as well as land on the road.
I got you. Okay, yeah, no, I will move out of the way of that then. I thought it just looked that way. All right, let's see here.
No, yeah, it's falling.
Do I get a +2 because this is my approach again, running
Yes.
away?
Yep.
Well, that didn't help.
Nope.
Or Bijan. No, that's quite low. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to, since they donated a critical to me earlier, I'm going to change some of the dice in regards to damage, and you're going to sustain 6 points of damage
Yikes.
as a large stone goes sliding and smashing into Bijan. And everybody else seemed to make it out okay. So, well, Kidney Spears takes 3 points of damage. You can subtract any armor. Jaden takes 3 points of damage, subtract any armor. And then Mike, your Balgus is going to take 4 points of damage, subtract any armor as well. So yeah, massive stones come out. You hear loud screeching and buzzing just coming from the various tents. And this creature, as the tower went tumbling down, 2 massive wings come up from its back, and it starts beating them. And these are almost hurricane force winds that are beating you around. What do you as a party do? There's also the screeching and cries of many creatures that were crushed in their tents.
I assume we're to believe that this is not the Harkon?
The giant creature is most likely not the Hazka. That's a smaller humanoid type person. There was a giant insect creature that you managed to summon through your clickety-clacking.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping to do. Summon a giant creature through a clacking. There are smaller insectoid humanoid people though running around.
In their tents, they're not running around. They're trying to get out, but they were in their tents sleeping.
Perfect. Yeah, I think he'll just like throw open the nearest, like he just kind of throws open the nearest tent. He says, "Hello, I am here to get inside the temple. There is a giant bug creature out here. I need your assistance. Where is the portal? Clickety
Yeah.
click clack clack click. Something.
Yeah. They're all. You notice a large group of them get together, and the frontal part of their multifaceted eyes start to glow an otherworldly blue, and you all hear a peaceful hum. And with that, you notice the massive insect goes flying off to another part of the city.
Oh.
And they all stop and look at you. They look at their fallen tents. Then they look back at you. What do you do?
It was crazy how that thing attacked us. Just came out of nowhere. I was trying to communicate with you about the portal.
Clickety clack. He says back at you the same way you had said it
Yeah,
earlier.
my thoughts exactly.
They kind of buzz at you. They kind of look at the party, kind of sizing you up and down. They're very curious.
Yeah, I'm just trying to crawl out of the rubble that
Yeah.
we have buried.
They kind of look down, seeing they're kind of thrown off.
I look in real bad shape now.
Yeah. They're-
I now my speed on my character sheet is actually -4, so I kind
you
of like
go
look
very
at my
slow.
so I kind of like look at myself okay because my armor negated it once again. Then I look at Bijan and I just like give him that expression like, how? How? You're supposed to be the fast one.
I just, what I mean, it had to, and pains me even to speak at that moment.
Yeah, it's like, oh, his lips
Fine.
split open, just
Let me help you. And he goes over, Bogus goes over and goes to, like, pick up Bijan in, like, it's not good bedside manner, right? I'm gonna roll to heal him with my healing ability.
Is this your magical healing?
It is my magical healing.
You may do that.
Cool. So I am. So basically, I take my axe out again and I slice it across my hand, and I just run my hand over Bijan's face, and I'm going to roll for this heal.
It's going to be 2d6 plus 1 for sure.
Okay. So yeah, there's a prayer there.
Okay, plus 2 probably.
Okay.
This is your
cool.
devotion.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
And I'm now like caked in dust,
Yes.
blood, and
Dust and
sand.
blood.
Yes.
Ugh.
Ogun blesses you and lives you, gets you life to fight one more day. Be well, my child. 7. So let's see here.
All right.
On a 7 to
the
9,
lowest
I
plus your aptitude. So you'll get to add plus 2.
Yep.
And the lower die, so the 2. So he heals 4 points, and you now have a tag.
I am exhausted.
You are now exhausted.
Yep.
Had a long day.
I know.
Can I look around the rubble around me and see if I find anything shiny?
There's some shiny objects in some of the tents that have been knocked over. There are 3. So one is more goldish in color, one is more silver, and then the other one is chrome. Do you want to go for the gold, the silver, or the chrome?
Oh. I think I'm going to go for the gold one.
All right, roll 2d6 plus 2. 9. So you go over, and it appears to be the frame of an exquisite mirror that, despite the fall and the rubble and the tent being knocked over, remains uncracked. And as you place your hands on it, there's a pair of hands that grab the other side as well, and it is a Hazka. It's clamped onto it, and kind of looks up and sees you. You look up and see it, and you're kind of eye to eyes, right? So, what do you do?
I drop it and go for the next shiny object that I saw, which I think was the silver one.
It watches you run off. All right. We'll cut back to you in just a second. So, rest of the party who's treating with the Hazka, they seem to after some attempts to communicate with them, you're essentially being able to express that you're trying to find the portal and they know where this is, and they are willing to grant you access by way of their portal, but it's going to come at a cost. They want what you feel is most valuable to you as a party. And while that goes on, Kidney Spears, go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 1. You're starting to get suspicious, though, there. All right, so it's a similar situation. You get over there, you take it. You take it just before a Hazka clamps their hands onto it, and then this is a shiny silver, kind of like breastplate, armor that could be worn. And we're gonna roll on some of my cool tables to see what it does. So go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
$19.
All right, so it is a shining and undead. So it has like a lich's face carved on it and vampire wings on the back. So it has these undead creatures depicted on it. So it's the shining undead breastplate. That, and I'm gonna roll 1d100. Can fire an acid arrow once per day. So, yeah, it's Skeletor's armor. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll get you, He-Man. But, yeah, essentially, yeah, so it's shining, and out of the lich's eye, it can fire an acid arrow. But it's quite large for a halfling.
Yeah, and you said one of them saw me go after
absolutely. It tried to get its hands on it, but you picked it up and ran off with it.
this? Okay, perfect.
And it's going to the others.
Oh no.
Yeah. So they're willing to grant you access to the floating sanctum, but it's going to come at a cost.
Kidney, get over here and get them that axe. Now's
Or
not the
I
time for
have
extra
I have this nice breastplate we could give them.
I physically face palm.
Roll 2d6 plus 2.
Me or Kidney?
Who's rolling, Grant?
It is going to be Kidney Spears.
You said 2d6 plus 2?
Yeah, there's some positive modifiers and some 12, yeah. He takes it and then starts leading you. However, there's another group of Hazka that seems really upset, as if their family heirloom has been taken from them. There's some feuding, some bickering, and some fighting going on. So they lead you down a long, dark, dank, chalk-smelling hallway, and they take you down a flight of about 50 steps into a what would typically be a tomb. However, there is a portal that looks like it is filled with a night sky. So it's just, a vat on the floor. The floor of this room looks like the night sky, as if you would fall forever. In the Hazka pronounced to you that this, this is the portal to the floating sanctum. But you must be careful.
Careful of what?
Losing your mind, they say.
Oh. That does sound pretty terrible.
I just look at the stunt that Kidney just pulled, and I just look back to Bulgars and I say, I think mine's already pretty lost right now. So what's the difference?
I've known you for years and I would agree.
True.
So do we just jump inside this? Do we just walk on it? How do we activate this?
You notice as soon as you turn to speak to them, they're leaving. Like they're out of there. Want to know why? Because there's another group of Hazka that's coming down. They appear to have like an elder, and he's just it's like a blue skinned one, and you have a yellow skinned one's kind of fighting back at them.
As they
Okay,
do.
time
I
to
think I
leave.
know. No. Yeah, through the portal though.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a good plan.
I know how to get this working, I think, and I pull out like some notes, and I start looking at the portal, trying to activate it.
Okay.
And yeah,
Go ahead and straight 2d6.
I want to use my advantage here. Like, this is the
You
thing.
already used it once.
Oh yeah, wasn't that you giving me advantage?
No.
Okay.
That was a good try.
I do have foreground procurer of artifacts.
Yep. I would allow that. So 2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
Oh no.
Nope.
All right. So you follow the
I
instructions
Break it.
and you disappear from existence.
Nice.
Bijan's there for a second. He's reading his notes and he's reading them out loud. He speaks a word and then he just vanishes.
Oh, well, I think that worked. And Bulgus will say whatever that word was.
Bulgus disappears.
Should we?
I look back at the creatures that are starting to come down now in that scuffle, and I just turn and say to you, as Bulgus is fond of saying, sure, why not? And
I've been known to say that. It's true.
Okay, so everyone said the word.
Mm-hmm.
You've all vanished from existence. So I need you to roll 1d100 to see how many pieces your bodies are ripped into. No, I'm just kidding.
Perfect.
No.
Wait.
Yeah, so you find yourself, you're in a room. It's quite dark. There is... Don't actually roll. There's these beautiful, elaborate tapestries. You hear the sound of running water, which is a sound you have not heard in many years. Just like a great rushing of waters. And you kind of feel as if there is the voices of angels speaking to you within your mind's eyes. However, there is something off. Your eyes haven't quite adjusted yet. And what do you do? So currently you can see a faintly glowing blue floor in front of you, and there are at least 2 illuminated tapestries on either wall, the west and the east.
I'm already like inspecting them.
Okay. One appears to be the form. It's kind of a matronly form, that of a motherly figure. And she appears to be in total bliss and meditation. And the other one, it's more of a patronly form. It's a male form, and he appears to be in a state of discouragement and unrest. And you also see, as you approach both of them, there are doors behind both the tapestries.
Grant, what do we
Yes.
know about this item?
Which item?
The artifact.
Oh, the Hellfire Gauntlet?
Yes.
This is what you know. It's go ahead and roll. Do you have anything that would help you know about rare artifacts?
No, but I will say that I am the point of contact between the Kites of Bloodline. Perhaps they've told me something other than just go get this thing.
Okay. Here's what you can do. You can roll 2d6 plus 1. I will allow that.
8.
This is what you know. It is an object of authority, and it is an arcane artifact. There is a magic power associated with, and its origin is divine. So it came from the gods above, not below.
Okay. Cool. In that case, what I would like to do is prostrate myself between these two, like if we're in like this grand foyer kind of thing. I want to like bow down, kneel, pull out the axe, and perform a prayer for guidance from Ogun to help locate this. Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll 2d6 straight.
Cool. 10.
Okay. He let you know, Ogun speaks to you, that it is in the room to the north. And to access the room to the north, you must either go east or west first. And you must go one of those two ways, and it will take you to the room. However, your fate is on either door. This is do or die.
Yeah, I think Bogus walks up to Kidney. I understand that you are a guide to this place, but you are still a guide nonetheless. I've spoken to my god, and he has led me to believe that we must go north, but to get there we must go east or west. Which do you think is better?
Okay. Would I have any insight on which one would be better?
Roll 2d6. Okay, here's what you know. The eastern path smells nicer, but the western path, the door looks less used. So you can take that for what it's worth. Those are the two details that you've discerned from it.
Okay.
One smells nicer, and one looks like it's been yet less used.
Yeah, so I point to the one door and I say, well, on the one hand, this one smells really good. And that's always a good sign. On the other hand, this one's less used. So take with that, or do with that what you will.
We were also warned about this place, that we could lose our minds here.
That shouldn't be a worry for you.
No, I'm still soldier. No matter how much of my mind is lost, I am still soldier. And I know, because I've heard war stories from over the years. Smells, drugs, intoxication, altering of minds. That may be a sweet smelling room, but it's what we soldiers call a honey trap. And for once, he is dead serious.
I'm taking a whiff of that smell. Is this like good smelling perfume, or is this good smelling? Oh, they're cooking up a chicken in there.
Go ahead and roll 2d6 for me.
Bijan already has his hand on the door. You said it's a bad smell? What?
My gimmick is that I'm relentlessly overeager. Does it come to pass to count here?
Yes. You take a big whiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be food on the other side.
And I don't even need to say anything. You all hear my tummy starting to rumble. Oh, that smells good. Well, maybe we can at least get some rest over there and food and come up with a better plan.
I may not be the smartest man in this room, but I feel like we're here to steal an artifact. And making friends with the people we're about to steal it with is probably the worst option. Besides dying.
Grant, what I've just said about old war stories, basing it off my own personal deduction as a player, is there a way I can do some form of history check in game to see if I can. One of my traits is teller of old war stories. Is there some sort of history check I can do that I can try and sort of like recall if this is any kind of trap that I've heard of over the years?
Essentially what you're doing is you're checking for traps, right? And you're trying to rely on your military background to see if there are any sort of traps from any sieges of temples or monasteries that would cause there to be a trap. So go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 1.
I am actually going to use my advantage on this.
Okay, 3d6 plus 1, take the 2 highest.
Okay, so 6 6.
You got a 7.
Unlucky.
So here's what you know.
Unlucky.
So you know this much. It's you know that there can be traps. However, you don't see any pressure plates. You don't see any portholes. You have not located any electrical device or arcane trap on the door. But you also know that smell on the other side, it's the burning flesh of a humanoid.
I will look at Bulgus and I will say to him in his own native dialect and native tongue, because I've known him for so long. Bulgus, my old friend,
Yes.
that is flesh on the other side of that door. I see no traps. This is too easy. Flesh burning, humanoid. Cannot tell, but there is humanoid burning on that door, and there are no traps. Honey trap, Bulgus.
I start
Far too-
coughing and retching at that realization.
Do you, Bijan, do you eat people?
No, I've never. That's what.
I'm not judging you, I'm just asking. It's probably good to know for future reference.
That's what human flesh being cooked smells like.
Like chicken, yes.
I can't have a.
Don't worry about it, Bijam. The soothsayer did not see that one coming either. Other door?
Yeah, you did not know that?
Yes.
You call it the other human, the other chicken. Pretty fine. Okay. I guess not everyone has ever smelled human cooking before. That's fine. No problem. This way then.
All right, so are you going through the other door? Or are you
Going through the other door.
All right, so you go through the other door, and as you open the door, whoa, the floor is covered in about 2 inches of water. It was completely still until you touched it, and as you touched it, it disturbed the water. It kind of ripples throughout, and then you hear what sounds like heavy, rhythmic, methodical breathing. And it sounds like it's coming from all directions. What do you do? The walls are dark and unlit. There is but one small light, a single candle on a single stone in the center of this pond.
I have dark vision.
Mm-hmm. So you have infrared vision, so essentially, so you see along the wall. It kind of goes out, and you can kind of see a door. As you look up, there is in the back corner of the room what looks to be a large tentacled creature affixed to the top corner. It's not moving.
Yeah, I think Bogus kind of looks back at everyone and says, there is a monster in here. There is some kind of a monster here. This corner here.
Yeah, I'm peering into the darkness. I'm already like going through my pack to. I want to use an adventuring gear to take out an oil lamp.
Okay. You light the lamp, It illuminates the room. You can also see against the wall there are 4. They almost look like constructs made out of glass and steel, much like the buildings were from which you came. Their heads are made out of shiny gold, their bodies polished silver. And as the room is illuminated, they begin to stir. They seem to be scanning about. Tentacled creature in the high corner is not moving.
I go behind everybody.
You are now safely behind them.
I want to crouch down and put a finger into the water and actually. Yeah, I want to taste it. Is this actually water that's covering the floor?
Your tongue melts off, unfortunately. No, yeah, it's water. It's a liquid.
Okay.
Are these things just scanning, or are they moving around? Like, are they looking
Not
back and forth?
moving yet.
Okay. And it's basically a smooth, clear surface, apart from the ripples from a footprint or a finger.
Yep. And there's now a light. The light seems to have caused these automatons, these sentinels, to stir. The tentacled creature, you notice it's slowly slinking down the wall an inch at a time.
Is the candle lit?
Yep.
Okay.
Put the light out. Not the candle, your lamp.
Yeah, like I cover the lamp with a hand and
Okay.
make sure.
Memorize that exit. I've got a feeling one reacts to light because they stirred as soon as you turned it on. The other one, maybe sound. It didn't stir until we stepped foot into this room and touched the water.
This is true.
Oh, we're going to get across without touching the water.
The water does fill the room.
Very, very slowly. And maybe, just maybe, if it is sound, we scatter and confuse it.
Here's
with
what we're going to
different
do.
directions.
Yeah, I like this. So we're going to settle this with a 2d6 roll that can be made with advantage, and I'd like Jaden to make it.
All right.
Because this is going to be the entire group slowly and quietly trekking across.
Any other modifiers for being a team, or is that the advantage?
The advantage is I'm giving it to you from your planning if you wanted to use it now. No other modifiers.
That's absolutely fine then. All right, let's see how this goes. Oh, sorry, fellas and lady.
All right, so you move and you've you essentially you're moving quietly. As you get about halfway there, the lamp that Bijan has covered is starting to burn, his hands. It's like, ow! He pulls back, it lights. The sentinels move their way, and his loud scream kind of causes everyone to, jolt slightly. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Tentacle creatures starting to come down and bolting towards you, and the sentinel automatons have turned to fire. What do you do?
Balgus just shouts. Balgus shouts to Bijan, "Throw your lamp at the creature."
Yeah, I do so. And I start running and I just hurl the thing again at the tentacled creature.
All right, 2d6 plus 2.
Yes, that's an 11.
Yes. Okay, so it crashes into it. It begins burning it. You hear loud shrieks call out of it, and that gets the attention, in the light as it flies across, catches the attention of the automatons that begin firing. And you are able to get through the door on the far side, should you choose to go through it. Are you going through, or are you staying in here with these death machines?
No.
Yes.
I'd like to get away from death machines.
Yes. All right. So, good plan, guys. Good role playing. So you are now in a room. This room is glowing with a faint green light. In the center of the room, on a small dais, is a pillar with on it a wreathed in a halo of fire gauntlet sits that is burning as if it's, eternal flame, just this metallic object of great power sitting on a pillar, nothing else in the room. What do you do?
Ah, yes! We found it.
Wait, and I want to pull into.
That's not the gauntlet of a carpenter.
I wanna pull into my pack because, yeah, I'm a soldier, but I've obviously got some form of mission brief, even if it's just a scroll or. So basically, what I want to do is I want to pull out of my pack a mission brief and see if it matches up from any evidence and description, if possible, of the Hellfire Gauntlet that we may have.
It is a gauntlet covered in hellfire. So that's pretty close description. And you don't pick any discrepancies because I don't think they would write much more detail than that. But you're lucky that your mission brief is not ruined thanks to the clever negotiations you did earlier. I assume you got a good description of the Hellfire Gauntlet from the Hozkas, whose homes you destroyed.
Did we
Seems
destroy
legit.
him?
What's the town? Yeah.
No, they were just victims of good old-fashioned rock and roll.
Yeah, I think, man, I'm susceptible to lies. Okay, so I'm not a liar. Although Grant did say that dwarves are liars.
That's the lie I believe about the world.
That's true. I think Balgus kind of looks around, looks at the gauntlet, looks at the room, and then looks to Kidney and says, "I believe this isn't your job description, no?"
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna throw that dagger I picked up earlier at the gauntlet.
All right. So roll 2d6 plus 1. Actually, 3d6 plus 1. Take the two highest. You still rolled well enough. So you throw true, and it goes into the gauntlet and comes out the other side. The dagger is now wreathed in flame, and then turns to ash and dust after some time. About 3 seconds later, it hits, lands with no sound, then turns to dust.
Well, how do we get this out of here?
I don't know.
Any other exits?
No. Well, yes, there's a door on the far east side, which is presumably the room with the burning flesh you didn't go in.
But it sits on a pillar or a pedestal or something.
Sits on a pillar, sits on a pedestal.
Is that tightly bolted down or part of the room even?
Do you want to touch
I
and
wanna
find out?
I want to check the pedestal.
It
and-
moves.
Whoa! Like it moved as I approached
Yeah,
it?
you could move it around with the gauntlet on it without touching the gauntlet.
Oh, neat.
Well, this appears
Is
to be
the
simple enough.
Is the gauntlet physically on the pedestal, or is it sort of like suspended above?
It
Sort
looks
of like
physically on it and is kind of wibbling and wobbling as he moves, but it's weighty. It has some balance to it.
We take the pedestal.
Take the pedestal.
All right, you take it, and I assume you go back the way you came.
Yeah.
Well, we
Oh,
gotta go
shit.
to that room again.
That's right. I was like, yeah, of course we do. Wait a
The
minute.
other side.
We need another tentacle monster.
Or I still have my that axe.
Yeah.
That
You want to cast fog and be invisible?
yeah, I was gonna say we could. Would it just be me that's invisible, or would it
No,
be?
it would fill up the room with fog, and they wouldn't be able to see anything.
Okay.
For all intents and purposes, you all would be invisible moving through it.
Yeah. So I tell them, I still have this axe that, if we want to go back the way we came, or even through the other one, I could make us invisible.
That could work. We would have to deal with the monstrosity that feels vibrations, though. I think we
that's
can
true.
move quick enough.
Yes, but the automatons were taking care of that thing because of the noise it was making. They were turning its attention to fire. So, is it so hard to presume that they may have taken that thing out? And if the others rely on sight, we could obscure them and just get through.
That's what I'm hoping for.
All right. Are you going to attempt a foggy run?
I think that sounds
Yeah.
like the best course of options.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do.
Well, yeah. As you pass through the port through a narrow hallway, you do see a heap of a tentacle monster that's been slain. It has many, many burned holes all over its body. You fog up the room, and you are able to make a clear path to the doorway. Well done. You've managed to invisibly slip through. So now you are back in the main corridor with the two tapestries. How are you planning to get home? You appeared in this room. You fell through the stars. How are you planning to get back?
Bijan, you had the words to get us here. Do you have words to get us back? And if so, please read them in your head. Not out loud.
Well, I didn't know that's how it's going to work first time around, so whatever I'm right now reading in my head, I don't know if they'll work either.
Well, shit.
But it wasn't too bad last time. I just could try it.
What's the worst that could happen? You end up in space?
I don't believe in space.
I don't- you can end conversations with most people these days. You go, oh, I don't believe in science.
Yeah.
They will never talk to you ever again. I don't believe in space. I like that.
I think, yeah, no,
all my
I'm
friends
just,
at NASA are just like, Grant, space is good. It is.
I'll just,
Yeah.
I'll
as
just
somebody
say the
who
word. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say, as somebody that interned at NASA. That's I'm so glad that
I have a lot of friends there. Yeah. It's, all right. So, with the mention of space, if you look up, the ceiling in this room does look like that of a starry night.
you know that those are the souls of our ancestors, not some weird other place.
Well, why don't you ask them if we
Jeez,
can
boy.
find a way home for us? Ask for directions.
I mean, I have an idea. I say the word I said earlier, but backwards.
Disappears.
Well, that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then Bulgus accidentally stutters and he teleports someplace.
Teleports into space.
Yeah.
You just see him in the mural. Ah!
And with that, you're back down in the Haska's teleportation room. There has been a lot of infighting based off of these stolen artifacts. However, you are able to evade them. And when you return, as you return this pillar with this gauntlet wreathed in fire on it to the Ikaitsa bloodline. The Duke that you return it to, as soon as he sees it, he severs off his hand, affixes the flame gauntlet, and it burns slightly, and his eyes turn to that of radiant fire, and that is where we end the adventure. And that is your first foray into Dortoka.
Hell yeah, that's dope.
Nice.
Nice.
That was super dope. Cool. Thank you, Grant, so much for running that. Thank you guys for showing up. Sam, thank you especially for jumping in super last second. So yeah, let's go around, introduce yourselves, and give us your thoughts on this game and this one-shot. We'll start with Grant. Grant, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of this one-shot?
Well, hey, yeah, and knowing that you're doing a charity stream, I want to give you guys time between games, but it was a lot of fun to put together. Essentially, it's a point crawl or hex crawl system where we can generate locations off of a series of random tables, and I try to start with a very evocative one where describe all senses. It had gurgling noises. It smelled of burning ozone. It was light colored. You had a comforting feeling based off of the frescoes, yet it was covered in disgusting filth, and the temperature was extremely hot. Very evocative language. Ben Dutter's an amazing writer, and his writing is very clear and easy to read. And essentially, I put this adventure together this morning just by rolling on some random tables and setting up a grid, and you guys could go wherever on the grid. Now, some of it was, improv. The final rooms, we kind of made up what was in there on the fly. But I also really like letting players come up with solutions, because I had no idea how you guys were going to solve the gauntlet. But as soon as he said, "Is the pedestal down?" I started to think the same thing, and I was like, yeah, he could just pick up the pedestal, then not have to touch the hell gauntlet that'll destroy him.
Yeah.
Same with figuring out, like, we randomly rolled up that magical ghost axe, which totally would work, like, no bending rules. And then saying the word backwards, sure, why not, right? It's like, that makes sense in the fiction of our world. But yeah, as for me, I'm Grant Ellis. You can find me online. You can find me at WisePapaGrant on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch at Grant R. Ellis. I'm on all the shows. I'm on WebDM, Encounter Roleplay, unMadeGaming. I'm going to be on several other channels coming soon. But definitely hit me up online if you have any questions about Dungeons & Dragons, adventure design, or things going on in the industry. I run lots of games on lots of channels, often run open mic nights that anyone can play, and I never really turn anyone down. It's just a matter of having space in the game. Like, Sam was a last second, "Hey, I'll play," and we were like, "You can play. Get in here. I don't know you, but you're cool. Get in here." All right. Yeah, but I had fun. This was a really good party. You guys did an excellent job.
That was super fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. You had mentioned it was a couple different kinds of styles of game, and to me, it was very much like Dark Sun meets like Dungeon World. It was a perfect merging of those two things. Because I guess Dungeon World is my only fantasy Powered by the Apocalypse game to reference this to. And it was very a lot of similarities what could be drawn between those two. I liked it a lot.
At GenCon, I'll have Eric run World of Dungeons for you, which is similar to Dungeon World. There's just really one move, though, the Defy Danger move, which is more of an inspiration for this game. But yeah, definitely, the playbooks like out of Dungeon World. And also, I have a very Dungeon World-y style as a game master anyways. Where what do you do? Okay, this happens, and we'll just improv. And kind of similar to you, I'm sure.
Very much the same. Very much the same. Sweet, let's jump over to Sam. Sam, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of Vagabonds of Dyfed, Dortoka?
So you can find me pretty much at Sam M. Daz on everything. This was my first time playing an RPG that wasn't D&D, so I kind of came in not knowing what to expect. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing. If you ever need somebody to fill in, as long as I'm not working, I'll be there.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah. So.
Perfect. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, that was my experience before Twitch. Basically, was that I had only played D&D, and then jumping on Twitch, I had the experience to be able to play multiple different RPGs, and now D&D is probably my least favorite. I mean, they're still up there because, like, who doesn't love RPGs? But, like, I like so many other ones more than D&D because they're, like, subtle nuances and they're different, and it's just, like, you've played D&D for years, right? So it's D&D.
Mm-hmm.
D&D is the white bread of tabletop games.
gateway.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
kind of the
norm.
gateway.
Yeah, it's the norm for me. Cool. So let's jump around. To Matthias or Matthias. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of Vagabonds of Dyfed?
Yeah, I'm Matthias. You can find me at mthsblgr. And I'm also playing next Tuesday in Pro Restarters channel. We're playing Sprawl, and I'm playing an Off the Tables Monster Hearts game. And this is super funny because that's what I play on stream, and also online I play a lot with the Gauntlet, which was also perfect for this adventure. But it's also super funny because I have never played D&D, so I'm the other opposite extreme.
I didn't play D&D until I was 32, and not counting like 1 or 2 games as a kid that went horribly.
Yeah, and it's also not counting whatever Baldur's Gate video game stuff. But yeah, I love this excursion into Dotoka, and this was really a lot of fun. Felt really Ozarish, especially like the moving through the rooms, trying to find creative solutions, and everybody playing into that, and the IPing was a lot of fun with everybody. So thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, thank you for being here. And last but not least, we'll go to Capricorn, right? Did I say that right? I didn't butcher that. Perfect.
Yeah, it's, it's fine.
Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of Vagabonds of Dyfed?
First of all, I just want to do a personal shout out to everyone who donated to Extra Life today, because that particular charity, it's very special to me, that one in particular. So thank you to those who did. As for Vagabonds of Dyfed, I'm primarily a D&Der. I do play other systems, but I'm kind of like the polar opposite, where D&D is still my favorite. But with Vagabonds, I really enjoyed it because it was a mixture of Dungeon World, Blades of the Dark, the Power from the Apocalypse system, and they were all familiars. They were all systems I was roughly familiar with, and I have played before. I'm a huge advocate for Blades of the Dark. So coming into this, it was a nice mesh of the three, along with, quite frankly, what came across as a very well written adventure. So I thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of it, especially with these wonderful people as well. Always fun to play with Grant, and a couple of new faces as well today. It's been absolutely brilliant. But thank you all very much. If you want to follow me, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, it's all at Capricorn Cross, one word. I recently got affiliated here on Twitch, so I'm kind of on a bit of a high at the moment, and I basically stream a lot of RPGs. I'm beginning Neverwinter Nights, playing it for the first time ever soon. I also have my own D&D 5e show, story and character based, called The Chronicles of Cascadus. That takes place every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And I've got another show in the lineup soon, where using the old GURPS system, there's going to be an RPG set in Terry Pratchett's Discworld, which I'm currently planning out, and it's going to be a fun one. So I'm very much looking forward to it. But thanks for having me on.
That's awesome. I loved Discworld. I was a huge fan of that. Cool. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. Grant, thank you for running this. I had a blast. Like I said, this game was super fun. I always love having Grant on the show as a player or as a DM to hear the wacky zany shit he comes up with. To echo everyone's sentiments, thank you guys for being here. Chat, thank you for watching. Guys, thank you for donating. We are like 75% ish, I think, to our goal. We're definitely over halfway. It's like less than $80 till we hit our goal. So thank you guys for those donations. That was super dope. Like I said before we started the stream, we're currently, not including today, around $7,000 for the year so far as a team, $6,000 and change as a channel for Extra Life. And I recently joined the Extra Life Guild of Rhode Island, which we just opened last Monday. This past Monday, we finally, as a state, hit the required donation amounts and people to be a sponsored guild, which is super dope. So I get to meet a bunch of other streamers, creators, all kinds of fun stuff. So that was super awesome, and I can't wait to do more on a local level and you guys on a national level. It's super awesome. And with that, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go prep for our next game, 6-20 City of Mist Metropolis game, which is our normal Wednesday night game, which is ending this Wednesday. But we do a series of one-shots every month for that as well. So we'll see you back here in a little bit. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye.